Once upon a time, there was a man named George. He had 2 sons, Sam and John, and a dog named Moni. George loved Moni very much, like a 3rd son. Moni loved George and the boys too. They were a happy family and lived together in peace. One early morning, George woke up and went to the kitchen. He filled the kettle with water, placed it on the stove, and lit the fire. When the water started to boil, he added 6 teaspoons of tea leaves, half a cup of milk, and 7 teaspoons of sugar. He stirred the mixture and let the tea cook. While waiting, he put a pan on another burner, added some oil, and toasted bread until it was golden on both sides. He took the toast off the pan and set it aside. Then, George cracked some eggs into a bowl, added salt and black pepper, and stirred it well. He poured the mixture into the pan and cooked a fluffy omelet. Once the omelet was ready, he placed it on a platter. Meanwhile, Sam and John woke up, took a bath, and put on their uniforms. Then George got butter and jam from the fridge. After this, George peeled and sliced some bananas. He poured banana slices in a bowl. He added cream, mixed it all together, and poured honey on top. Then, he set the breakfast on the kitchen table and called Sam and John to come in. As they sat down, Moni woke up too, wandered into the kitchen, and George patted his head.
"Good morning, Moni,"
George said with a smile. He poured some milk into a bowl and placed it in front of Moni, who happily drank it all. After breakfast, Sam and John picked up their bags and got ready to leave for school.
"Have a great day at school, boys!"
George called out. Sam and John waved and headed out the door. Once they left, George took some meat and boiled eggs, placing them in a bowl for Moni. Moni happily ate his breakfast. Afterward, George got dressed, grabbed his briefcase and phone, and was ready to head to the office. He turned to Moni and said,
"Be careful, Moni. Look after the house. I will be back in the evening. Love you, my son."
George gave Moni a gentle pat on the head.
"Don't try to take a bath, okay? It's too cold for you. And I don't want you getting sick. Please be careful."
Moni shook his head as if he understood, wagging his tail in response. In the evening, Sam and John came home from school, and George arrived from the office. Today, it was Sam's turn to make tea. He made it and took out cupcakes on a tray. After tea, George said to Moni,
Ready for a walk, boy?
Moni wagged his tail excitedly. George smiled and took him to the park, where Moni ran around happily. An hour later, they returned home. George quickly made garlic butter chicken pasta, and John set the table. They all sat down for dinner. Sam said,
Dad, there's a festival in the nearby village on Sunday. I think we should go. Moni will enjoy it too.
George smiled and said,
Okay. We will go.
On Sunday, after breakfast, they were ready. They sat in the cart and headed to the festival. After 2 hours, they arrived and enjoyed the day. Sam bought hot sweet potatoes, and John bought a toy. George found a tea set he liked and bought it. He then bought vanilla ice cream. Moni happily ate his ice cream. But when he saw a child with chocolate ice cream, he barked and wagged his tail. Sam laughed and said,
Dad, he wants chocolate.
George smiled and bought it for Moni. While George, Sam, and John were talking to the shopkeeper, Moni saw a cute kitten. The kitten got scared and ran away. So Moni chased it. He ran out of the festival, but the kitten disappeared. Moni looked around. He tried to go back and realized he was lost.
Where are they? I'm lost.
Moni whimpered, his tail tucked low.
I miss my family. Please, God help me.
George bought a shirt, but Moni was nowhere. He asked Sam and John,
Have you seen Moni?
Sam said,
He will be here.
They searched everywhere. George started to cry.
Where are you? My boy?
Sam said,
Dad, let's go home.
George shook his head.
No! I have to keep looking.
John said,
Dad, there's no point. Let's go home.
George finally agreed, and they walked home sadly. They stayed awake all night. On the other hand, Moni fell asleep, tired from walking. In the morning, he woke up and walked all day, feeling lonely.
I miss Dad.
He whispered.
Where are they?
By evening, he reached the park. Anne lay down, tired and sad. At night, George, Sam, and John sat together. Sam said,
Dad, John, and I searched everywhere. But we couldn't find Moni.
George sighed, tears in his eyes.
I searched too. Where's my son?
He said. Mr. Charles lived with his 2 kids, Lily and Sam, in a village. They had a bitch Ketty, and they loved her very much. Mr. Charles got up early, wearing joggers while Ketty slept. He smiled.
My girl.
And went jogging. When he reached the corner, he saw Moni.
Oh, I think this dog is lost,
He said, patting Moni. Moni woke up, scared, but Charles reassured him.
Don't be afraid. I will take you home, my dear.
He brought Moni home till then Ketty woke up. Charles patted her, then made breakfast. Moni ate quietly. Just then, Louis and Lily woke up and saw Moni.
Look. A dog.
Louis exclaimed, his eyes wide with excitement.
He is so cute.
Lily added, smiling. After breakfast, Louis and Lily headed for school while Charles went to work. Ketty tried to talk to Moni.
Hey. Are you okay?
She asked softly. Moni looked at her but didn't respond. His sad eyes saying everything.
Don't worry. We will take care of you,
Ketty said. But Moni just lowered his head. One night, Charles made dinner and gave meat to Ketty and Moni on the lawn. Moni hadn't started eating.
Please eat,
She said softly.
My dad is looking for your dad.
Moni suddenly shouted.
No! You are lying!
He threw the meat. Ketty's eyes filled with tears. She didn't eat and went to bed. At midnight, Moni went to the kitchen. Ketty appeared behind him, holding her bowl.
Please eat this,
She said. Moni asked.
But this was your dinner?
Yes.
Ketty replied.
I didn't eat.
Moni ate quietly, and they both went back to the lawn and Moni slept. Ketty didn't sleep.
Why do I love him? He will leave someday.
After becoming friends, one night Moni missed his dad and whispered.
Dad, please take me away.
Then slept by the gate. Ketty woke up, shocked to find his bed empty. She called, searching for him. She found him shivering near the main door.
Oh, Moni,
She whispered, wrapping him in a blanket and staying by his side. Moni woke up, saw her shivering, and wrapped the blanket around her. In the morning, Keddy said,
don't ever leave me. Please. I love you.
Moni softly replied.
I love you too.
Now, they were happy together. One day, Keddy felt unwell and realized she was pregnant. She told Moni.
I'm pregnant. Moni.
Moni wagged his tail, happy. Keddy, with tears in her eyes, asked,
If your dad comes, will you leave me?
Moni gently replied.
No. I can't leave you. You are becoming the mother of my kids.
One day, George's neighbor saw Moni and shouted.
Oh! You are here! George is very upset. He is searching for you. I will tell him where you are.
Keddy wept, saying,
Now he will take you away.
Moni shook his head.
No. I won't go.
The next morning, George arrived with Sam and John. After greeting Charles, he tried to take Moni. But Moni ran to Keddy. Charles said,
You can sell Moni. I will keep him here.
George shouted.
He is my son! How dare you talk like that?
Sam, gently placing his hand on George's shoulder, said,
Calm down. Dad.
But George was still furious. Sam and John forcefully grabbed Moni and pulled him to the car. Keddy wept badly, while Charles, Louis, and Lily felt sad. Charles patted Keddy and said,
I know you love him.
On his way home, Moni remembered the path. That night, he ran to Keddy's house. Keddy cried, and Moni calmed her down. After an hour, Moni said,
I will come to meet you. Take care.
And rushed back home. Sam saw him climb down the wall. The next morning, Sam told George.
Dad, your son was out last night.
George asked.
Who?
Sam replied.
Moni.
George gently approached Moni and said,
You were out? That's not good. Don't do it again.
But each night, Moni secretly visited Keddy, returning home before morning to keep his visits unnoticed. One night, George caught Moni going out and tied him up. In pain, Ketty whispered.
It's time. But I'm alone. Moni. Where are you? Don't you care about me or our babies?
Suddenly, she felt intense pain. And moments later, her babies were born. Their soft cries filling the quiet night. Moni thought,
It's time for the delivery. Kenny needs me.
Desperate, Moni banged his head against the wall until it started bleeding. Shocked, George ordered.
Untie him!
Sam quickly freed him. And Moni ran off. George, along with Sam and John, chased him in their car, following him to Charles's house. Moni entered the house and saw his babies, while Ketty lay weakly on the bed. He hugged her warmly. And Charles, Louis, and Lily were nearby. Charles took the babies in his arms as Moni kissed them. Just then, George, Sam, and John entered, looking at the babies. Charles said,
Congratulations. Your son is now a father.
George smiled, saying,
Moni. Congrats.
as he took the babies in his arms. Sam and John were overjoyed. George then said,
Mr. Charles. Ketty should live with her husband.
Charles smiled and agreed.
Of course.
Moni and Ketty were filled with happiness.